I'm Tom from Do-It-Yourself Home Automation, and this is a look at my Makerbot Replicator Plus 3D printer. So I really like this 3D printer because I think it's a great option if you want something that can do really good usable prints, but is also easy to use. And Makerbot really kind of tailors these to an educational set. It's something where, you know, these are often used in classrooms, or if you want to do homeschooling or just show your kid at home how to print and do 3D printing and just teach them about that. Or if you're a maker and you want to have a really easy way to print things out where you're not having to do a ton of configuration and tweaking and DIY. So it comes fully assembled, which I love. You're not having to do a bunch of setup for it. And everything is this really nice plastic and metal. So it's really not, again, one of those sort of DIY products. It's something that comes almost like a traditional printer, just ready to go out of the box. And that saves a lot of time, I think, in setup, especially if you're going to use these in a classroom and you want to have multiple of these printers going. The build plate, not heated, but I found there's not really an issue with things sticking or not sticking to that. And it is flexible, so once you print, you can pop the whole build plate off, or you can just grab from the corner and twist a little bit to work apart free. Filament, really easy. You can see I've got a reel of Makerbot filament here. It's blue. It's really simple. You just lift the back up and you load your filament in, click it in, feeds through the tube and goes into the extruder here. Loading and unloading, really simple. There's a menu you can use on the device itself. So let me go back here to the menu. You can see that you can change your filament settings, you can preheat, you can change settings on your smart extruder right here on the menu, or you can connect it via USB to your computer and use the Makerbot software to plan out your prints and actually control the printer. And a nice thing with that, it does have a camera, so you can see the build area as the print is happening from your computer if you want to monitor it remotely. Also, it's enabled for cloud printing, so you don't have to plug it into a computer. You can connect it wirelessly as well. Some other nice things, it self-calibrates, so you don't have to calibrate the Z-axis height or anything. It's going to do that for you, and it has this smart extruder, which has a built-in fan and everything to help kind of cool the part selectively as you're printing, and to get really good resolution. I think the resolution for more of a hobbyist or education or DIY type of application is excellent on here. Other nice things, it's not that loud, so it works fine for me just sitting in the corner of my office here. And it also doesn't smell when you're using it. So some 3D printers, depending on their materials, can produce kind of a plasticky odor. This one almost smells like pancakes while it's going. Just a very mild smell if you're using the Makerbot filament, as I do here. So I'm going to start a print, really easy. I loaded some of these onto a USB stick, so I can just show you here. So you can print off USB, you can print by plugging this into a computer, or again from the cloud. So I'm going to go in here and select my part. So I'm just scrolling through here with the wheel. Now I'm going to do this little boat, and I'll just say print. It's going to give me a 2-hour time. It's going to warm up the extruder and start printing. And you can see it's warming up, moving into position, doing its thing. Obviously, you want to keep hands clear of this area while it's printing. We get a live read of the extruder temperature here. As you can see, it's trying to heat up. And you can adjust all these settings to fine-tune your print in the Makerbot software. So when you're creating your print, you can choose different extruder temperatures and different speeds and Raft settings and everything you need to kind of tweak and get your print just right. And we're off. You can see the printer is starting to lay down the raft, starting to prepare to print out that cool little boat. You can see the amount of progress it's making here, and also you can get a sense just hearing it for how much sound it's making. Not that much. Okay, so I want to show you the end product, but I don't want to make you sit through 2 hours of watching the printer print. So I made one of these in advance. Obviously, this is a different color filament, but this is what that little boat looks like when it's printed out on my Makerbot. So a couple things to note, really good resolution, I think, really good layer height on this, relatively smooth surface even without processing. You can do some things to improve that after the fact, but I think this is done really well. It's quite solid. You know, this is like a solid piece of plastic, little toy here. This isn't something that's going to fall apart if you use it. And you can see that the raft detaches fairly readily. You get a little rougher surface and a little bit of retained raft on the bottom, but overall, great resolution, I think, again, for a hobbyist or educational type of printer, and just makes a super sturdy part. So it's really fun to download these or design your own. phone and just go ahead and print them out. In about 2 hours, you can get this this nice design ready to go. So that is my Makerbot Replicator Plus, and here's the end product, which I think speaks for itself.